I have a couple of medals. Najifichia mahali because of acting in PCA. Everybody there, the elder Ndegwa, senior elder, he knows me as a really prayerful person, and these are the people and the environment I was raised in because by people who cared about the Lord. This is because my mother is a very prayerful person, and she's the pillar of my life. She's a very bold and strong woman, raising a boy into a man by herself. And I'm the only child, I'm the only son, and she was really determined to give me the best in life. And yeah. When I was in Form 3, that is in, can I remember? It was 2016, but rather 2017. When I was in high school, this is when the first episode called Bipolar episode started or began. I had a hallucination period, and it is really sad to say this because I was actually talking about God in my episode. I was sharing to all my peers after we had a morning session. I went around screaming and shouting, and to anyone who could listen, that we should take time and focus on God. And that's when my mom was called by the principal and the matron, and who later took me to somewhere where we had to share this. What are you saying, son? So they wanted to see whether I was okay. So yes, that's when my mom came and she took me to hospital, St. John's Hospital, Githurai. But on the way there, I got a little bit manic. It's difficult to explain the situation or what you go through, because everything you're saying is real. There's nothing that you're saying or doing that you're not feeling, you're not seeing as if it's normal, It's like something takes control and comes over you, and you become a different person altogether. So manic, there's manic and depression. When you're having an episode, or for my case, since I've been diagnosed with bipolar syndrome, most of the episodes I've had that everybody will notice is the manic episodes. And this means you become, in the beginning of the stage, you start talking a lot, you start coming up with stories that don't add up. For instance, we had to share this. My last episode and the recent one, and I'm hoping never to have, to see whether I was okay. So was a manic experience, and I believed that I would be the president of Africa. When I was in Form 3, I believed that if it wasn't for me, I would actually put someone up to it, and so that Africans can realize that we can actually do this alone. We don't need other people. So in my manic experience, I was either to become the first president of Africa, or to endorse someone to become, or shed light upon, why are we doing this to ourselves? We are rich, we're So that was the whole reasoning and the whole philosophy or the thought process that I was going through. I used to listen to a lot of African music at that particular time, and I must say, plus watching a lot of news, because I'm a news person. I read a lot of books, and I saw a lot of movies, but I just thought to myself that, what, maybe we can actually do this. This is the time that we have the opportunities that weren't available for forefathers or us. So these are the opportunities more opportunities for us to become what we ought to be in the first place. So a lot of that reasoning and believing, and unfortunately I was, I was abusing alcohol, and also I was abusing marijuana, bang. I used to smoke a lot of shashamani, so it became a habit for me. I wasn't a heavy drinker, but by and by became one, because it killed most of my sorrows and depression when I went to a state of depression. But I started consuming marijuana or abusing it when I left my job in mid-2016, March, and I substituted one drug with another. And I was on and off. When I got a manic episode, I stopped taking because I had to take medication. And then later, I slip into now alcohol and marijuana. Then I get another manic attack, I stop. So it was a series of relapse. And yeah, I abused it till 2019, October 21st. Yeah, you see, I must say one thing, that when we were young, we were educated about drugs and progressive drugs. But when we become a little bit younger and older, rather, I'm saying young because most of the time, because we have energy and we have the freedoms to do things that we aren't supposed to do, or do them in extreme, because everything you say, we major on drugs and abuse, and the stress of you're saying or doing, depression, the lack of jobs, lack of employment, as if it's normal, lack of the things that would make someone say something or someone in the society. And in my case, I had gone through a series of disappointments. I'm not where I'm supposed to be. I've been educated and advised by people, you know what, you need to work hard, you need to be better yourself in life. So all those pressures of trying and failing, or not being in the standard that most would want you to be, I fell into drug and abuse, and I went into a manic episode, and unfortunately enough, I was taken to hospital in time, and I got a really good doctor. In the beginning of my time when I came out of Thika High School, that first episode, they took me to hospital. I found some really good friends who took me with Metatu to the hospital, nearest hospital, St. Joseph, and I met a doctor. Fortunately enough, by the grace of God, he took care of me, and in a few days I was okay. But for my first episode, I wasn't abusing any drugs. I later, after high school and after leaving a job, that is when I substituted alcohol for marijuana, and this is in the year of 2016. And I must say, if it wasn't for the grace of God and Dr. Kanyi, all those years, and because I've had more than 4 episodes, and these episodes, some of them I wouldn't want to talk about them, they still hurt me and also hurt other people around me, especially my mom and my family members. So struggling with bipolar syndrome has been, in the beginning I was in denial, and I didn't want to believe that I would have something like that. And I used to take medicine, but after a period or a series of time, I stopped taking medication. My mom was very supportive. She was very understanding. She didn't really know what was happening, but she was very understanding. My family members, my grandmother came from up country and came to city center. She came to Githurai, where we were living at, and she gave a lot of support to me. Even though she's really old, she really took care of me, and my mom was always there for me. She paid for the bills and the medication, which is really expensive and not easily available. So she was really understanding. Personally, I didn't understand what was going on with me, because I'm talking about God. I'm sharing a message that I don't know where it's coming from. Even though I was raised in a home that prays a lot, and I went to church.
Life is a journey, and we all have ups and downs, highs and lows, and celebrities are no exception.
Do you know I couldn't pay rent? Do you know there's a time I went 3 days without food? If you read my book, I ate Colgate for dinner.
On Coffee with Movie, we get up close and personal.
Serving up your best, eating together, and sharing more. Now,
we have candid conversations that are inspiring,
and always remember to taste the simple joys.
Humorous, and life-changing. Next episode
Success is value
of
system
Coffee
and the
with
legacy you
Movie.
leave.
Coffee with Movie, every Sunday at 8 p.m. only on TV
Twice on
47.
the side and once at the back. So the back stab went to the spine.
Every muscle,
I
every
couldn't do
bone
anything. I
is our
couldn't.
concern.
A lot of pressure with both your hands. You're going to collapse.
We have no guarantee of our
Any
tomorrow.
pain,
Our tomorrow is really in God's hands.
Calm down.
any
that,
discomfort,
What do I use
we
today
have
for?
just the right
Coffee with
doctor.
Movie, every
breast
Sunday
surgeon.
from 8
I'm an
p.m.
emergency care specialist.
A chiropractor.
With just the right remedy.
Majority of patients will actually just require support.
Join us on Body Garage every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. because we care.
In a manic episode, in my case, every episode I've had different types of manic episodes. It depends on the levels at which you have reached. Others just speak and lash out, and that's it. They express an overview of a person who is just angry or extreme in what they're doing. So it varies, but in my case, it's an acute form of a manic episode, because if I can remember correctly, the last episode that I've had, I ended up in jail. I was actually arrested for disturbance in a restaurant, and I didn't really know what was happening. I was just from one place, and I ended up in a police cell. And I remember in this case I almost died. It was October 19th evening. I walked barefooted. I was actually arrested. And I went along I crossed the road and went to the other side, and I didn't really know what was happening. Barracks, because I live in just from one place, and I ended up ended up in a police. I went there. I wanted to enter the barracks without proper certification, and I was kicked out. And then I went to the road, beside the road, and I started collecting stones and putting them in piles. And then in jail. Thika Road is a four-lane road, and I crossed it. And then I started playing games on the road. There is this game on a phone where you dodge a car from left to right. You know that game when you play left, right, dodging cars. Now I was playing that in reality. I remember I was crossing the road. When I see a car, I run into the next lane. When I see another car coming towards me, I run to the next lane. And then I cross the road. I was really afraid. I was engulfed with fear. But for some reason, this game seemed to be really interesting to me, and I felt like I had to do it. I had to play this game. And I crossed that road 5 times. A person who was crossing that road that same night crossed the road and was hit by a car, and he died. At that particular time, at that particular hour when I was doing that, and that is what stopped me from playing that game, because I saw a lot of people coming over, and it was really sad seeing another person die because of not observing the road regulations. But for my case, I was really insane. I was playing games on the road. In that particular night, I remember I could have died there, and then I would have hit by a car, and died. And but I was, God had mercy on me, and I later ended up in a police cell. So I stayed there for 2 days. Remember, October 19, 20. It was 21. October 19. Is when I in the cell I was alone. There was a public holiday that previous day, so I went along. I crossed the road. I applied a lot of on myself. Remember, and I ran from the police cell. I went there. I remember at this case without. These things are really embarrassing. But this is what happened. The reality of things. The policeman just saw me and the road, beside the road, because I had banged the door really hard. I wanted to fight them in fights. So the first sight he saw me, Thika Road is but they took care of me and gave me. And then I started playing games on the road. There is this game on the phone where you dodge a car, run naked, right? You know those, and they came to play left, right. That is one of my manic experience. Playing that, got to a place where I would have died, and I was taken to hospital, rehabilitation center. Wonder Peace on October 21st, in the late of the night, and I've been sane ever since and clean. That was last year, 2019. Yes, that is when I was taken to the rehabilitation center. Yes, and I got a really good psychiatrist and a doctor there, counselors, the people there just helped me. Yes, and I've been clean ever since. Well, bearing in mind that we live in times that are really tough, that have been really hard on us. Imagine a family that has only one breadwinner, and the son doesn't have a job because I got poor grades in high school. I tried to do a course in electrical installation, but I got really lazy. That is what they say, because I've talked about the manic. I haven't talked about the depression state. So I lazed around in the house. I couldn't sleep late at night, and I didn't feel like going out. Remember, I never came out of my room for close to weeks. I used to just get out, go to the washroom, eat something, go back to sleep, and I felt like doing nothing. Thika Road is imagine the rates or of the treatment itself, because one has to go and see not just any medical doctor, but a psychologist or a psychiatrist, and the session itself is really expensive. And the medications, the medication you're given to take, they're really expensive. So it took a really hard toll on my mom. I'm praying to God that one day we have a system, that an educational system, and a system rather, that gives care and more emphasis on mental health, because mental health is a condition, or is something that has not been given or shed light to for a very long time. And in this country, my home, my motherland, Kenya, I hope and pray that the healthcare system can include, or rather the teaching system can include mental health, a counselor in every education center and facility. Why? Because these conditions of stress and depression build up in a person from a very early age. And if our teachers are educated concerning mental health, we'll actually be able to identify this problem in an early stage, so that someone can be given special treatment and care and observation. And we may not lose a lot of people in the streets, and people who are looked down upon the society, that huyu hawezi kuwa kitu chochote, he cannot be anything else, but rather we can see this as an opportunity of an individual called John Mogera, who, if it was not for the care of the family members and my guardian, I wouldn't be where I am today. Because if a mother would have seen this person like he's mad and he's nothing, he's never going to amount to anything, I would be in the streets right now. I would be a person who collects stuff and carries that bag. I must say, I give God the glory for allowing me to go through an experience like this, so that I can have this opportunity to share my story, and not only share my story, but bring a solution to the challenges that we have right now. In the last episode I had, and when I was being treated in Wonder Peace, I reconnected with my Lord and Savior, and I got a lot of time. I stayed there for 3 months, and I read books. I read the Bible mostly, and not only that, I read other books that taught me about the importance of mental health and sensitizing it and talking about it and sharing about it. And in the process, I thought to myself, will I go out there and do something that will not help the society, but rather help myself alone? Will I be selfish with the gift that the Lord has given me? To one of my sessions, I confessed to my doctor, and I told him, you know what, probably this is a blessing, because I am unique. And within my uniqueness, I can share my story and reach the people and the voices of the people who haven't had time or haven't had the courage to come out and say, you know what, we can fight this. I decided that if this is the purpose that the Lord has given me, and this is the way that He would want me to go, this is the journey. Maybe the reason why I have lost the opportunity to have a job. I've been deprived that opportunities because I had to seek the Lord and find my way, find my purpose. Because that is the reason why we are here. I found out that my purpose was into helping other people, lending a hand. I don't have much to give. I don't have a proper education. I don't have money to myself or to my name. So I decided to start a foundation with nothing. Just the name, Sparks Foundation. So that I can spark a life. I can reach out there and actually give hope to someone else and say, not all lost, all hope is lost. I would say that an advice that we are born, we don't choose how we are born. We don't choose how we are raised. The choices we have in this life are virtually limited. Most of them are made for us. Naturally, don't choose your height. So